Joining me now is former Telecom Minister, Mr. Arun Shourie. Mr. Arun Shourie, you heard Mr. Raja saying if he's in jail, so should you be, and Mr. Dayanidhi Maran. I'm also joined by, from the government, Mr. Ashwini Kumar, Minister of State for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences. Let's just look first at what really is controversial about that dilution of shares, the divestment of equity, which Mr. Chidambaram has made the point there's nothing illegal about it at all. Let's just look at what's controversial about those two deals. Now, both Unitech and DB Realty are real estate firms. When they got these licenses, they had zero experience in telecom. Yet they managed to get 2G licenses. The cost was about 1,600 crores each in 10. The big issue is that in a little over a year, they actually sold part of their stake. Unitech sold it for 6,100 crores. So if you reverse the figures, it's about much more than what they bought it for. And DB Realty's telecom division sold their stake for 4,500 crores. So huge profits there. And the opposition has made that point that that money actually belongs to the taxpayer, that they got the licenses, that it was undervalued, and they went ahead and made huge profits. Arun Shourie, beginning with that aspect first, we've heard the then finance minister talk about the fact that this was legal, what's wrong with it, and perhaps hindsight is very useful now, but perhaps at that point it didn't raise alarm bells. Do you think he's justified in saying that?
It's very interesting. If it is all legal, then how is it that the Enforcement Directorate, working under the same finance ministry today, has issued a notice for a penalty to Eutelsat of 7,100 crores for violating FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, on this very investment.
But that's not the specific point on the divestment of equity will not come under that.
Well, what are they then guilty of? They have not done anything else. They have been penalized for whatever they have done in telecom. As far as I understand it, you will please correct me if I am wrong. But actually speaking, Raja's point was not on the legality of whether it's divestment or dilution. He's not disputing it, because that's what he said in his press release. That's what he said in his letter to the Prime Minister on 7 November. He brought up this point on to make the to substantiate his assertion that he kept everybody informed all the time.
In the loop, as it were.
Right. The Prime Minister, Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, as you know, in that second last paragraph there, he says, I have had the benefit, I've been enlightened by the Pranab
Right,
Mukherjee
and what
also.
may seem contradictory, and I'm just going to hear a couple civil before I come to Mr. Ashwini Kumar, what seems contradictory, and again he brought this up in court, he said, well, if there's a notional loss, if there's zero loss, then why am I in jail? And Kapil Sibal today again made the point as Telecom Minister that he saw nothing wrong in this dilution of equity by Unitech and DB Realty. Let's just look at what he had to say.
What you're effectively looking at are two companies with hitherto little known experience in telecom that actually make a gigantic profit just because they had that telecom license.
That happens in every economic activity in the world, including India. Take any aspect of the Indian economy. So I don't understand what you're talking about. And what happens is the value of the company increases. When somebody brings in money,
so
the value of the company.
So Sanjay Chandra of Unitech makes a huge profit,
So what's wrong?
more than 4,000 crore profit just for getting that license.
Is it criminal to make a profit? I'm not defending anybody. Is it criminal? What law has been violated here? Is it the IPC has been violated? Any provision of the IPC?
Spectrum is a rare commodity.
This is not a sale of spectrum. Incidentally,
it is technically not the sale of the license, but when the valuation,
not license, it has nothing to do with spectrum.
But when the valuation of that particular company goes up by thousands of crores, isn't there a profit based on the license?
Again, you are confusing the issue. Don't confuse the value of the spectrum or the price of the spectrum with additional equity.
If these companies did not have the license, if Unitech and Swan had not got the telecom license, perhaps nobody would have wanted to put this money into these companies.
Same thing would apply to the spots on television. If you didn't have the spot, then obviously you would not have a serial.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.